Welcome to SEC Football Live, actually live here on a Wednesday on the 440 Sports Network. I am Braden Gall. That is Chris Childers, brought to you by M.L. Rose, 7 great locations all across Middle Tennessee. The best ranch dipping sauce and an ongoing wing war, where if you go into one of those 7 locations and you order wings, you get an extra special wing deal on Saturdays only during SEC football games. There's already 2-for-1 drink specials and a brunch menu, but if you go in, they've got a 24-piece wing special. Basically, buy 16, get 8 free, and then you tell your server what's your favorite school in the SEC. Right now, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Alabama beating in my neighborhood, winning the battle. Vanderbilt acting like a real college football fan base.
Nice.
It's fantastic. Childers, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. I love hearing that. That's new. That's something different. Yeah. I kind of felt that, though, when they sold out the Charleston Southern game. I'm like, wait a second.
James Franklin couldn't even sell out that building.
Hey,
so.
That's a nice building now.
It is.
That makes a big difference, man. When you have a place that people like to hang out, makes a difference.
27-point favorite over Georgia State after a 31-7 destruction on the road. Here's where we're at.
Are you going? I want to go.
Here's where we're at in life. I have a crazy event I've got to go to Saturday night, so I don't think I can go. Long time been on the calendar for a while. Me and the missus had to get a sitter, the whole thing. However, a 27-point favorite and to a team, I think, didn't Georgia State beat them last year?
Yeah, you're right. Yes, in Atlanta.
And if you want to know where Vanderbilt's at, they are getting coaches at Virginia Tech fired, and they are taking number 1 overall picks out of the game. Like, this is where Vanderbilt is at right now. It is super fun to be in Nashville. Even if there's a lot of Tennessee fans still here. Either way, M.L. Rose, great ranch, great wings, and make sure you tell your server, your bartender, what your favorite SEC team is, so that they'll chart it all, and we'll know who has the best wing eting fan base in Nashville at the end of the season.
Yes.
So
my dog is being obnoxious.
No, it's fine. Dogs are a part of the show. The dogs were barking in Knoxville at the end of the Tennessee game. Hey, see how I did that?
Beautifully done. Yeah.
So I want to start with a bunch of broad stuff. Not a huge slate of action. I think the Auburn Oklahoma game is awesome. I can't wait for that game. Obviously, Tulane and Ole Miss is interesting. South Carolina, Missouri could be more interesting than we think. So we'll get to that.
I'm closing my office door. I know where to lie.
Florida and Miami might be less interesting. Memphis at home could upset Arkansas. But really, I want to look at last week, and then I want to talk big picture with you, Chris. And that is, I just, before we get into any details of what happened last weekend, what's wrong with Arch Manning? What's wrong with Florida? What's wrong with before we get into any of that garbage? I want to know who's the best team in this league right now after 3 weeks.
Do we know? I mean, I think you have to, I guess Georgia would be my answer, just because they went on the road. They went in that environment, and they had a quarterback that I didn't think a lot of going into the season, and he stepped up in a big way, and he kind of, to me, he won his team over. Like, everybody, I think if you had any doubts that he could be the guy when it matters, that he could step up, Gunnar Stockton, in a situation where the game's on the line, because I did have those doubts. You know, I was at media days, and I met with him, and I know, I get it. You can't judge a kid based on a microphone, right? But I kind of did.
You're such an old asshole.
I know. Well, Rick did it too. Like,
well, there's definitely an old asshole.
No argument. But we sat there,
Rick.
And he was just like, it felt like, he was getting ready to call Paul. You know what I mean? Like,
all right.
Like, oh, golly gee. And he was talking about how he got a new pickup truck for Christmas. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
2007 at Ford F-150.
He's the man. I mean, he proved a lot. I think he won the trust of anybody in the locker room that maybe doubted. I think anybody in the fan base that may have doubted. And I think for them to come out of there with a win was monumentally huge. And for Tennessee, it stings, but a lot of football left, right?
I want to get to Tennessee because I want to stay with Georgia here, because I think that I don't know who's the best, but right now, if you said you could pick a team to play any other team in the SEC or any other team in America, who's the team you trust the most to win that game? It's Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia is the team I trust the most today. That could be different tomorrow.
Today.
That could be different next week. That could be different in 3 weeks. That could be very different at the end of the year. I don't know. And we'll get to Texas. See, Rich, good to see you. I'm here for the Arch Manning chatter. The guy Braden thought was so obvious the Titans should wait until the 2026 draft. I was just reporting what scouts in the NFL were telling me. That's all. So I think Georgia's the one I trust. Now, I don't think he had to prove himself to his team. I think he had to prove himself to the fans and to the media, because even I, someone who really liked Gunnar Stockton all summer, still had to, in the back of my head, have doubts about his ability to deliver down the field. And what I thought was so fascinating about that game was the reason Georgia won was not because of their dominant defense, was not because they destroyed the line of scrimmage against Tennessee. All reasons they have beaten Tennessee the last 9 years. They beat Tennessee because Gunnar Stockton threw the football outside of the hash marks on the field.
Yeah.
And that's super impressive to me, especially on fourth down.
He won people over, man.
And so I want to get to the Tennessee side of this, which I think is just as optimistic as the Georgia
But the answer
side.
to me is Georgia. That's the answer.
I agree with you. The other
and I think I could maybe by the end of the year be convinced it's Oklahoma or A&M, but right now it's Georgia.
And we'll figure out about Oklahoma this week. A&M, we'll get to them as well. I think it's LSU, Texas, or Georgia. I think is the three that I would probably put on this tier. LSU 20 to they handle Florida. And what's weird about LSU and Brian Kelly, I love you, Brian Kelly. Never change. LSU is the inverse, the opposite of what I expected them to be. And I think that makes them very dangerous in the future, because if the defense is like, I thought the offense would be excellent, and I thought the defense would take some time and be better. But the defense is outstanding. I mean, NFL draft picks everywhere. Delane has been unbelievable. Perkins and Weeks have been great. They're really good on defense. They completely dominated Clemson. They completely dominated Florida. It's the offense that's the problem right now for LSU, quote unquote. And that's why Brian Kelly got all pissy in the first question of his press conference after a big win was, "Oh, what's wrong with the offense, coach?" And he gets all, now he's apologized to the reporter, but whatever. And then Texas, of course, we got to talk Arch Manning, as C. Rich is already here to hear about. And there are questions about Arch. I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater just yet. But I wanted to talk to you because I know you've been I'm not so sure. You're one of the few people all summer that kind of said, well, Quinn Ewers was pretty good. I don't know if I'm ready to do this whole anointing of the second coming of little baby Jesus there in Arch Manning. But are those the three? Are those the best three, or do you think there's somebody else in there?
I think right now those would safely, in my eyes, be the best three. I think Texas has everything but the quarterback. And we'll see what ends up being with Arch, but their defense is off the charts. And we've seen that. I think they got a defense they can rely on. LSU, I'm with you. If the offense comes together, if Nussmeier gets healthy, if Brian stops being a jag, a jerk about things, then things will be okay down in the bayou. I just think Georgia showed something to me. I mean, I thought that was a hell of an environment. Tennessee was sniffing blood. Now, they got lucky, missed the field goal. We could easily be talking about Tennessee winning that game. Yep. But they didn't. And Georgia got – and I think what was so poetic about it, especially if you're a Georgia fan, was I think there was a little bit of a sentiment that maybe Georgia wasn't elite this year. They were good. They were really good and playoff good, but maybe not national championship good. And I think that little grin on Kirby's face as he ran off the field as Rocky Top was playing was symbolic. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a symbolic little grin.
He's very much on message about how this is a tighter knit group and this is a closer team. And he's very much on message about that. And I do think Stockton earned himself some stuff from the media and from the fans. I think the good old boy all shuck stuff, the way he played in tough situation at the end of last year, I think his teammates love him.
Yeah, plays
from
big,
what I
probably
understand
in the locker room. Yeah,
I think it plays very well in the locker room. No,
he's
ego,
authentic.
No
he's
ego.
authentic.
Yeah. So to Josh's point here is, man, after the initial sting wore off, I feel really good as a Tennessee fan. I was worried we might be more than mediocre against good competition. Look, that is the best that team has played. Josh Heupel's team has played against Kirby Smart. I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you should be more excited about your team today than you should be than you would have been in the first quarter of that game when you were up 21-7 even. Because I think that you've proven, and I think this is the beauty of the playoff, and I've been saying it across all platforms this week. The beauty of the playoff is that we get to add context and nuance to our evaluation of teams. Notre Dame is 0-2. Texas A&M won a football game that they never win.
Yeah.
But they figured out a way to win that game And Notre Dame at 0-2 on 2 basically one possession games against what we think is really good competition. Notre Dame's not out of the playoff. Tennessee's not out of the playoff. Because when you play that well against a team like Georgia, albeit not an elite 2021 Georgia, but a pretty good one, I think you prove to people like us, you and me, to fans, and to the committee that this is a different era of college football and that a great loss is almost as good as the win because it was one play.
One play.
It was one play.
And a missed field goal.
We can't throw the entire team and their season out the window because of a field goal or 1 4th down and 8 pass. And I think Tennessee fans should be very excited about their program.
No, I mean, Joey Aguilar, the way the first half was playing out, especially, you saw all the stuff that was on social media being said about, man, we won this trade. I mean, we went out and took UCLA's transfer who came from South Alabama, brought him to us. We let Nico go out there. Nico got his payday and everybody had a Merry Christmas. And now Nico's coach got fired a couple of days ago. And Nico is a disaster right now. The storyline, and Tennessee fans are taking pride in that. And I get it. I mean, I kind of do. I think
they're acting totally responsibly as they always do.
Well, that's Tennessee. That's the SEC. I mean, you could get, guys that are like, 7-figure bankers that are rooting against this kid. But I get it. I mean, the kid and his dad, they tried to play the system. They tried to act like, over the top goons, capitalists, whatever the hell you want to call them. They wanted to fleece Tennessee for everything they could. But the problem was based on what? I mean, I was just like, I want Nico and his dad to watch the Ohio State game and then get back to me about how you want more money.
But it's more about market value. And if you're worth $2.5 million as a recruit and $2.5 million as a backup and $2.5 million as a playoff quarterback, then maybe you are worth more. It turns out. Now, I want to say this very clearly because I know Elliot and Josh, and there's a lot of you listening in Tennessee, M.L. Rose, by the way. I came on here after the Nico saga, and I thought there's no way Tennessee is going to be better this year based on Josh Heupel's decision to cut bait with Nico. And that was wrong because Joey Aguilar, and this is what's fascinating. Maybe
best case for Josh Heupel.
It really is. And this is what's fascinating about the Gunnar Stockton thing too, to me, which is this is a system, and this is the Arch Manning of it all, frankly. I'm gonna let the leaf blower go. No,
dude. It's massive. Like, as soon as we get on the air, I know. The guys that do the lawn stuff showed up.
Where's Ryan McGee when you need it? He's just taking videos of like lawn blow.
I got those guys are outside. The dogs are going wild.
All right.
And my daughter and wife are not here to wrangle. So
this is. Yeah. I'm attempting to give a heartfelt apology here. Mute your microphone. So
hold on.
Josh Heupel. This is what makes Arch Manning so fascinating to me, is because Arch Manning and Joey Aguilar. Let's compare the two UT quarterbacks. Arch Manning is an NFL prospect. We can argue about whether or not he's going to go 1 or should go 5. We can discuss whether or not he's going to be better by the end of the year, better against Florida in 2 weeks. If this is just I'm in my 3rd start, or I'm on my 5th start, or this is my 1st year as a starter, like there's a lot of things this could be. Ohio State's a great defense. Context is king, etc. But Arch Manning and Joey Aguilar don't have the same talent. And what's fascinating is Joe Milton and Nico have far more talent than Joey Aguilar. They are more cut from the Arch Manning cloth. And yet the system for Josh Heupel needs to be run like Case Keenum or Graham Harrell. It needs to be run by a guy who's undersized, who's a pure college quarterback, who has no aspirations on the NFL, who is accurate and can process and doesn't have a lot of talent. And that's not a knock on Joey Aguilar. I'm just saying relative to the 5 stars, he doesn't. And that is what makes Josh Heupel's offense go, is this ability to process in lightning speed and be accurate with the football down the field. Hendon Hooker was better than Milton and Nico and doesn't have the same level of talent as those two guys. And so that is the apology I would offer, is I knew Josh Heupel's program was much better than anybody realized, but the trade and the shrewdness with which he operated around Nico, because he did not do that knowing he was going to go get Joey Aguilar.
No,
he settled on Joey Aguilar and got him as like a backup plan. And it's worked out because the system is so good. And I think, Tennessee fan right now, this is as excited as you should ever be in a loss. As heartbreaking as it was on Saturday, you can beat Alabama. They're beatable. Although I think they're going to be better as the year goes on. Florida is clearly beatable.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma's tough, but that game's at home. Vandy's really good, but that game's at home. Arkansas, talented quarterback, that game's at home. Tennessee has all of it in front of itself, even after the loss.
They have everything in front of themselves. There's no question about it. And that's, Joey Aguilar to me is the biggest winner in all of this. Because to me, if he's at UCLA right now, UCLA probably stinks with him.
Right, exactly.
UCLA is a disaster around him. They got no playmakers. It's what's happening to Nico. Say what you want about Nico and Nico being whatever he is mentally and greedy and whatever, but UCLA is just bad. Deshaun Foster was put in a situation that he couldn't win in. And so Nico essentially was put in a situation he couldn't win in. And Joey Aguilar would have been in a situation he couldn't win in. He came to a program that I think we are now seeing. And I think you kind of illustrated it. It's as good as Tennessee fans hoped it was. It's sustainable. You don't have to have the big NIL quarterback that everybody was. Lawmakers were moving hell and earth for Nico Iamaleava, attorney generals, and we could look in hindsight and say, program's good enough, didn't need him. And Josh Heupel was elevated beyond him. And I think I'm with you. I think they're a playoff team. I think you mentioned who's the 3. I think Tennessee's the 4. I think they're right there. I think that is a team that is in cahoots for a championship, or not a championship, but a spot in the playoff at the end of the season.
This is not about Nico. It's about Josh Heupel's offense.
100%.
It's about the program he has built.
Absolutely.
And we said this from the beginning. Coach Dad, he is an adult professional football coach. Mm-hmm. Danny White, an adult professional athletic director.
Yep.
And when you get alignment from top to bottom, you raise the floor of your program. And now I don't know. They could still absolutely be 9-3. Like they got a loss on Saturday, and they could lose to Bama in Florida. They don't win in the swamp. Not since I was in college, literally 2001, and could absolutely lose to Bama on the road and be 9-3. And they wouldn't be that much better than those of us who picked them to be 8-4, myself included. But I think the program is in better shape than anyone has, even me, has realized. So I think that now this is a good question though, because you've mentioned A&M, you've mentioned Oklahoma, you've not mentioned Missouri, who's right now a 10-point favorite over South Carolina.
No, I haven't mentioned Vandy.
We haven't mentioned Vandy. We haven't mentioned Auburn, who I said all summer was better than people thought.
Yeah.
And now it's very early in all this stuff. Florida and South Carolina seem to be out of it. Some of that's for injury reasons, maybe for both quarterbacks, frankly, but we'll see about Billy Napier. Is this the deepest you've ever seen this league? Because if we can't pick number 1,
it kind of feels like the Big 12 on steroids. Like the Big 12, you have that top to almost bottom where everybody's kind of really good and can beat each other on any given week. You do have a couple of teams there at the bottom that kind of stink, but this is like teams that can win the championship essentially, eventually at the end of the year at the top. And then a bunch of teams that I think are really good, like Ole Miss. How good is Ole Miss right now? And with Austin Simmons, a quarterback, they put the backup in because of the injury, didn't miss a beat.
No.
So what does that look like moving forward? Is that a testament to Lane Kiffin?
Wasn't Ole Miss Arkansas like everything you want Ole Miss Arkansas to always be?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I wanted to. I want it to be.
I thought Arkansas was going to win.
Weird, shootout-y, bizarro craziness. That's what I
thought Arkansas had it, and they Arkansas on themselves, and now they got to clean up on ILA. But it was
300 through the air, 200 through the ground. Jake Retzlaff, the quarterback for Tulane, very talented player at BYU last year. He's going to challenge the Ole Miss defense.
I'm excited to see Retzlaff in that game, aren't you? Because that kid's got an interesting story. He essentially had to leave school.
One way of putting it.
He had coitus. She doesn't know what that means.
He had coitus?
He participated in the act of coitus willingly.
Well,
at BYU,
he was accused of more than that. But
but that's been cleared. So he had to admit that. So the reason he was going to get suspended from BYU was for the honor code violation.
Yes,
because
he had sex. Yeah, he made.
You could say it. I have.
He made the boom boom.
Family in the other room. Yes.
First of all, if he got suspended from the team for making the boom boom, I feel like every player on the team needs to be
7 games, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
You have boom boom. It's 7. So he had to go to Tulane.
It better have been worth it.
He had to go to Tulane. Well, he gave up a pretty lucrative NIL deal. He was on the box. I don't know if you're a Manischewitz fan. You might not be because you're not from the Chicagoland area. But I grew up with a lot of Jewish people in my neighborhood, so I loved like matzo ball soup and stuff like that. He was on the box. He was on the box of matzahs. He was. I'm serious.
All right,
like, He gave up a lot for that, pal.
BY Jew.
That's what he was called. Yeah, that was
I know.
nickname.
Reese says it's insane that y'all think about. I'm assuming you're basing that off the headline, which is like I'm asking sort of who belongs in the top tier. I think Texas, and we can get to Arch of it all here. I think Texas is still the most talented roster possibly in this league.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the bottom 4 offenses, Florida, Texas, LSU, and South Carolina, what do they all have in common? The quarterback is struggling. LaNorris Sellers injured for South Carolina, worst offense in the SEC. Garrett Nussmeier is not playing particularly well. He has 3 touchdowns. DJ Lagway has 6 interceptions. Florida's going to fire their coach, and Arch Manning is struggling. Although Arch Manning's numbers are better than all those guys, I just think it's gonna come around for him. I don't know if the upside is there this year, but Texas's problems are not the same as these other teams.
No.
Because Texas has an elite defense. They have elite weapons around the quarterback.
Quarterback away. That's what they are.
So you're not buying Arch developing and just having dealing with regular
maybe eventually, but to me this whole thing was played wrong. And I'm going to tell you cuz I was the one saying it, and I'm no Nostradamus. I'm an idiot that misses all the time on stuff, but this was something that I think when you looked at Arch Manning, first of all, I think, I was having a discussion with an old friend of ours, Mike Farrell, a couple days ago, and he said that if his name was Arch Smith, he would have been a 3-star instead of Arch Manning.
That's so easy for him to say right now.
I mean, he kind of has been saying it for years, though, to be honest. As long as
I love Mike, I've known Mike a long time.
I know
too.
Farrell's been
okay. All right. Fair enough.
And I think I remember what I mentioned to you. If you go back to the pregame of the Vandy, Texas game last year, I was there on the sideline, and I was watching the two of them warm up. And Quinn just looked like he threw a much cleaner ball. And Arch, it was kind of, you know what I mean? Like there was always kind of that little something where you're like, okay, I'm not really seeing it there. Then you think about the fact he's there, he's not playing. Quinn's a 7th round pick. Why is Arch not playing? And then if you go do the homework, and if you go watch the film from high school, this is what I think about Arch Manning. I think Arch Manning looks like a Manning. I think he certainly has intangible skills, all those kind of things. But Arch Manning has played. Do you ever play? I have not played in years, but I remember. Have you ever played like Madden or EA Sports, college football, and all that kind of stuff?
Long time ago, and too many hours. Yes,
but you remember, right? So remember when you would get on and you would play the computer, and they would give you levels. They would give you like beginner mode, and then you get up to varsity and advanced and expert and Heisman and all that. Well, if you go back and watch Arch Manning, I'm like 5'8", 230, right? So I'm, a little ball of dough.
Like Taquell Jackson.
Exactly. If you go and watch his high school film, and I challenge anybody to go do it, Arch Manning was playing against defensive tackles that looked like this guy, okay? And defensive ends that were little twiggy dudes. And Arch was essentially playing easy mode. And it's the same thing that happens when he plays San Jose State, or even though last week he struggled against the team.
That's why we're talking about this.
But we saw it last year against...
People are ready to pounce on anything that he does wrong.
But we saw it last year against ULM. We saw it last year against Mississippi State. He has played well.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's because it's easy mode. He's got the best. He's got way better talent than the other team around him.
Certainly.
When he's got that, Arch can be sexy. The problem is, to me, he never developed in high school. I think he can develop, but I think he's a big old project. I think the guy has never been challenged in his life. And to me, I just think this guy is nothing but raw. And there's a reason that Quinn Ewers was playing. And for me, like, Arch should have been playing more. And I don't think he's got a great arm. I just think if his name was Arch Smith, he would have been a 3-star.
So I think what's unfair about this conversation is talking not from you, but from in general, like the broad conversation. And C. Rich and Reese are saying the thing that everybody says, which is that Arch's last name is what makes people think he's so good. And there is no question that is a major factor in the hype that built around him. And frankly, that is not his fault. That is unfair that the Heisman bettors were betting him as the favorite. That was stupid. Anwar Richardson from Orange Bloods was on here this summer saying, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back next year. We've been saying that on this show all along, that he might come back after the season. I did not say that he would be the number 1 pick in the draft because I think he's the number 1 pick in the draft. I was reporting on what I heard from NFL personnel that said we would take Arch Manning now because of the project and the upside and the talent, not because he's a fully formed pocket passer right this second. And this has always been a part of the analysis of Arch. He is the best athlete. He is a great athlete. Maybe
he's less developed than everybody thought, though.
He is always closer to Tim Tebow than he is Peyton Manning. Yeah. The scouting report on him has always been that way. That's not a new thing. And so again, I think there's some of this where you get caught up in the Manning name and the hoopla around the recruitment process and the money and the value and he's the savior of Texas football. And that is absolutely, it seems, I would caution people through 3 games to be incorrect. And one of those games on the road in a 1-score game against the best team in America right now, again, all right now, if he looks awful against Florida on the road in a hostile environment against a good defense, then we need to start piling it's bad data on top of bad data on top of bad data. But that we're not there yet. We're just not. So I think it is absurd, and this doesn't get you ratings in sports talk radio, or it's absurd to say that anyone knows one way or the other on Arch Manning. It's absurd. And so I'm going to let it play out.
Can we say it's not absurd that he was completely and utterly overrated based on a lot of hype and hoopla, but nothing based on fact or reality or result?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, he was extremely efficient in his 2 starts.
Okay.
Like, fine.
So was Jeremy Johnson for Auburn.
Sure. John Brantley, Garrett Gilbert. We can go down the list. We can go down the list. The 5 stars that were wrong, industry was wrong about. I'm just not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater yet. And it's it's not his fault he was the number 1 Heisman frontrunner in the summer. It's not his fault. That's a bunch of gamblers.
No, it's idiots.
On him. It's not his fault.
It's people like Paul Feinbaum who stopped the middle of their show at media days to pause and genuflect at Arch's knees.
But what Paul does better than anyone is entertain. His job is not.
I've never been entertained by him once.
Nobody tunes into Feinbaum.
I've never been entertained one time by the man.
As QB2,
I've gone to dinner with the man. Didn't entertain me then either.
As QB2 on the Feinbaum show.
Oh, are you? Oh, that's right. Sorry.
What I will say about the show is, and you know this about Sports Talk Radio, not on Sirius necessarily where you work or on these shows here, but in true Sports Talk FM radio, Paul's job is not to be right about anything. Hey, it does not matter if he is right or wrong.
When you do it,
right here, sitting at this desk.
Really?
Actually.
Nice. Yeah. You can do Powell from home.
Let me. You know this, so I'm preaching to the audience here.
Yeah, go ahead.
The evaluation and how he got ratings and how he gets paid, all that stuff, it has 0 to do with being correct about
it's Jerry
anything.
Springer on the radio.
It is about picking the right topics and dividing the audience, and no one has divided the state of Alabama better than Paul Feinbaum. So that's
about getting hillbillies riled up.
That's a media. That is a media thing. And
that's what he does.
Now it's SEC Big Ten.
Yes,
that's what he does, and that's great too, and that's fun for the sport. I think.
I agree.
So anyway, I think here's the deal. Was he always a raw pocket passer? Absolutely. That was never it was his athleticism that made him a special prospect. And I still think that can make him a special prospect. I still think he's going to be an NFL player. And I still think Texas is really good this year. I could be wrong about all of that, but don't sit here after 3 days, not you or anybody, sit here after 3 games and be like, oh, Texas is terrible, Arch sucks.
I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in Arch. I believe in Texas. I think Texas is good. Yeah.
There you go. Quinn Ewers.
I just think Arch is overrated.
That's totally fair, and clearly he has been so far.
Quinn Ewers was a better player.
So far. Better quarterback.
Better quarterback.
Better quarterback. Better passer of the football.
Better passer of the football.
Better passer of the football.
Yes.
All right. How about the other side of the state of Texas, which is a giant win over Notre Dame? And
Marcel.
We can talk Auburn and Oklahoma too, because I think that's a really great football game. And I just Texas A&M defensively still has, and this is what's fascinating about all of these teams that we talk about being the deepest conference, and like Missouri has a lot of things you like and a few things you're concerned about. Georgia has a lot of things you like and a few things you're concerned about. A&M, it's like LSU. They're the opposite. I trusted Mike Elko to develop the defense and be a lead on that side of the ball, and they give up a 40 spot. And then all of a sudden their passing game is making huge plays in fourth down, and they have 2-star receivers. It's upside down world down there on the I-10 rivalry.
Third down conversions and all kinds of, it's wild. Their offense, man, like, and maybe but I think Notre Dame's good. I think in this era of,
I think they are too.
NIL, they've got a lot of talent. I think it's a good roster that shamefully right now is sitting there at 0-2 and kind of scratching their head, even though I think they've played two really good football teams that have committed to winning, and Miami and Carson Beck have kind of resurrected. So maybe, after 2 weeks, it's a little misleading when it comes to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's, a handful of plays away from being undefeated. But that's a football team. You go to South Bend, they made that kind of a all-in proposition. I don't know if you noticed. On Friday night, the A&M Aggie fans took over Wrigley Field. The Cubs were playing, and there was a crap ton of maroon. I was watching the game on TV, and I saw the organist even played the battle hymn, which was kind of cool at Wrigley. So this was kind of like hey, we're all going to Chicago, and we're going to go take over South Bend.
Yeah.
And they did, and they didn't go home disappointed. I think it's one of those games when you win a game like that, and you're looking to grease the wheel a little bit extra from Billy Bob and the big gallon hat and the guy with the belt buckle who has the oil, rig that's spewing out winners. I mean, I just think that game goes a long way. I really do. And
I drink your milkshake. I drink it.
And Marcel Reed, I mean, is that guy? I was looking at his odds today. Kind of a nice little.
He's flawed too. Like this is what makes this whole thing. Like
he's a nice little athlete.
I find it fascinating that the quarterbacks in a league with loaded defenses and teams and lines of scrimmage and elite level draft picks, LaNorris Sellers, DJ Lagway, Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, all four of them struggling right now. The guys who are playing extremely well are the little engine guy that could. Joey Aguilar, Gunnar Stockton, Bo Prabula, and Marcel Reed. None of those guys have NFL talent necessarily. Prabula might eventually, but none of those guys have NFL upside. And so what I find interesting about A&M in this particular moment is that fourth down pass. It's just one play. And I agree that, and this is the beauty of the playoff era, that we now
get when the play happened.
Well, but so here's what it is about context and nuance now in college football, which I think is so healthy for us to bring into the conversations instead of just like, oh, SMU's record was better than Alabama, so they belong in. Like, that's not how this should be anymore.
No.
Notre Dame is going to be a fascinating resume if they go 9-3 and their two losses are to Miami and to Texas A&M. LSU has a fascinating schedule. If they lose a couple of games, they could still. I mean, I'm glad that this is where we're at in college football. But A&M's win to me, just even though it's just one pass on a fourth down and a tight end makes it's a 50-50 ball on a fourth down play. That is a belief win.
100%.
There are
and an obvious hold, by the way, but
there are things that have to happen in a program for you can buy in and you can buy in and you can buy in and you can sell culture all you want to, but until it actually converts into some like tangible success, it is always hard to break through. Clemson did this for years. They couldn't do the thing to get over the hump, and then Taj Boyd got him over the hump. And so there has to be a moment where the program goes from just never gets there. I'm with
you. It could be that moment.
And I don't know if that means the A&M's a playoff team this year. They got a tough schedule too. Missouri's got a tougher schedule than we thought because the Auburn and Oklahoma are better than we thought. Ole Miss is better than I thought. Tennessee's better than I thought. Missouri's better than I thought. So I just that's what I think is going to be interesting about tracking A&M the rest of the season.
I agree.
Is that whole angle to all of this? Is this buy-in element of it all?
Auburn and defense be by the end of the year.
Excellent. M.L. Rose, 7 great locations all across Middle Tennessee. My location, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Alabama.
What do you drink at M.L. Rose? What's the order for you?
So they have 2-for-1 drink specials. Thank you for asking. On Saturdays,
you're welcome.
They have an SEC sandwich on the brunch menu.
Yeah?
Sausage, egg, and cheese. It's delicious.
Do you order beers there? Or are you like
I get beers.
Whiskey or bourbon?
No. I'm a beer. So they've got so they have a fantastic set of taps. A lot of local craft beer. So if you're in Nashville and you go to M.L. Rose, you get a great selection of good local Nashville beer that you can try.
Nice.
They also have a lot of really good collaborations with like High Wire in Asheville or good people in Birmingham. Like they do a really good job of like collecting kind of regional thing. So they have a beer called an Owl Lager, which is now I'm getting old. I drink lagers now.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crushable. It is delicious. And you get 2-for-1s before 2:00. So you go in there and you get your wings. You get 24 wings for the cost of 16. You get 8 free wings. You buy 1 beer, you get a second beer free. M.L. Rose is giving you wings and beer on Saturdays to watch SEC.
What's your flavor? What's the go-to for you?
Buffalo sauce, 2 ranches, 2 ranch, 2 blue cheese.
Blue cheese. Oh, the
2
best.
beers, 12 wings. I need a buddy to go with me though to eat the wings.
I'll go with
because my wife won't eat the wings.
Why?
Well, she's not a wing. She doesn't like meat on a bone. She's weird.
Yeah, chicken wings are delicious.
They're my favorite, dude. I have
buffalo sauce and it's the best. But you're right. The blue cheese that's what makes it.
It's fantastic.
It's the best.
And they got the healthy stuff too, right there. They got the surrey right there on the plate.
Yeah, it balances.
You got to cut the heat a little bit every now and then. Yeah.
Little vegetables. Yeah.
All right. So Auburn and Oklahoma, and Josh said earlier, it's gonna be a great data point this weekend. I completely agree. Oklahoma's offensive line is the question for Oklahoma. They don't have a running game. John Mateer's living on the edge, slinging it all around, and with a questionable offensive line, that can cost you a playoff spot in the SEC. Is it going to cost them this week? I don't know. Auburn has a really good defensive front. Keldrick Falk is really good. They got 2 NFL receivers. They got a great offensive line themselves. Jackson Arnold returning back home, emotional day. Like this is a phenomenal football game. And I like Auburn plus the points here.
It's a validator is what it is. Well, if you like Auburn plus the points, could you imagine? Because I think everybody kind of, and
everybody's on Oklahoma. Everybody's on Oklahoma.
And that's why I think it's going to make it really satisfying. Because a year ago you beat Oklahoma, who cares? But this year they start off pretty well. They've got Napier, who's the Heisman favorite. So this would be, you talk about a confidence win. I think for Auburn, this would light them into the stratosphere. It would absolutely, and for Jackson Arnold to go there and to tell them to kiss his ass. That's where he was. I mean, honestly,
they mishandled him too last year.
But I think that, they did. And I think that is powerful for people. When you have doubters, when things go wrong, when how these coaches are, you know how sometimes it's like, how the hell did you get a scholarship? And why are we paying you? And, he could stick it right up their tailpipe and jam it right in and leave it there for a while to marinate. They could.
Oh. Nothing like having your nothing like playing a football game with your tailpipe plugged.
Hey, listen,
that's dangerous.
He could give Oklahoma the old 1-2.
The old.
So I think for Hugh Freeze, this is the kind of game you need. This program needs an exorcism. They need a Joe Boo.
These are strange words for baby Billy.
Well, think about it. I mean. Remember Major League and Joe Boo? Joe Boo's rum and the curveball? Like, they need to hit the curveball here.
Come on, Eli Gemstone.
Yes.
I'm going to be a multimillionaire, Eli. Eli, come on. I'm going to be a multimillionaire, Eli.
That's what...
Teengis. I'm going to be Teengis.
They need Teengis to come and save the day and lead them to a championship.
Do you think if you could picture one SEC head football coach water skiing naked, it is obviously Hugh Freeze.
See, I was going to say, for whatever weird reason, I would say Sam Pittman. I don't know why.
No, he's got a bum hip and knee. He can't do that. He's smart. He wouldn't take the risk.
I
could
see him out there, and
he's too smart for that. Eli Drinkowitz would do it.
See, I was going to say him next. He would be out there with his Tiggly Wigglies out.
I feel like it's the old twig and berries. I think Mark Stoops is driving the boat too.
Could you imagine Lane Kiffin like after Joey Freshwater night out there on the boat, having fun?
Eli, I'm gonna be famous. Eli,
I love that show so much.
So good. I'm glad the last season got back to focusing on just the family. It's
so good.
Look. They have
Judy Gemstone's underrated.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma's really good on
character.
defense.
Yeah,
really
I
good on
agree.
defense. They're
Yeah.
really good on defense.
Mhm.
And I love that Oklahoma is clearly improved. That's obviously true.
Upgraded
But
the roster.
But the amount of conversation around this being the best team in the SEC and that they're a playoff team and an SEC championship team and John Mateer's the Heisman favorite, I'm just saying it feels a little much for me.
Don't know if Michigan's any good. That's the thing. We're basing it off of a win against Michigan. The reality is Michigan last year was 7-5 and had 0 offense.
It feels early for this
It's
Oklahoma
early.
stuff, doesn't it?
It's early, but they've passed their test so far, and John Mateer's been bona fide. He's been glorious. He's been like a baby Billy.
He's so much fun to watch. No, he's so much fun to watch.
He's the best.
I don't even know what that means.
You want to go to one.
John Mateer is so fun to watch.
Baby Billy sing along.
He is. Changes. Why don't you just call him Teen Jesus? So good. Because it's changes. Y'all shut up. Shut up. Anyway, I got to stop doing this. Okay.
Mama told me not to do it anyway.
So quickly, LaNorris Sellers could be playing on Saturday against Missouri. That makes that game so much more interesting. That point spread went from 14 down to 10 like in an hour.
Yeah.
And so I assume the folks in the desert that build the pyramids out of solid gold know that LaNorris Sellers is playing. If Missouri wins this game, though, I think they have, what do they have? UMass maybe, and then they get Bama at home after a bye. That is a huge game coming up. Don't look now, but Ty Simpson, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions, 72% completion percentage, almost 10 yards per attempt. Don't let Kalen DeBoer figure out the offense with Ty Simpson. I'm just saying, I know what happened in week 1, but they are so out of sight, out of mind that people are going to forget that they still have a lot of NFL players.
Mm-hmm.
So just they destroyed Wisconsin. I think they're off this week. Otherwise, it's basically the only subject we haven't covered is who's going to be the next coach at Florida.
I don't know.
Shane Beamer?
No. I don't know.
Dan Lanning?
No. Not. Why would you leave Oregon while Phil Knight's alive?
Agree. Matt Campbell?
Yeah, but with that, isn't that like hiring Will Muschamp or something? Like, I don't know. Like
Matt Campbell? No, Matt Campbell's awesome.
He is, but is he Florida awesome? Does he ignite your loins?
I feel like it's hiring Billy Napier.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Willie Fritz.
I think Florida's just the job nobody wants. It's got an unrealistic expectation.
Willie Fritz.
People are weird. Florida man lives there. Willie Fritz, okay, sure, you take it.
Who is the superstar?
I don't know.
That's
there
rising.
Is none. His name is Billy Napier.
Dan
Mullen.
Remember that? No, he's going to be the UCLA. I would hire him for UCLA in 2 seconds.
Urban Meyer.
That's the only one that makes sense to win if you want to win a championship.
How great would it be?
It'd be so good. I'd prefer him at I would prefer him at Auburn just because of the storylines. But he's
a very unlikable man. But
I'm gonna keep saying this name, and I don't think he gets a shot at Florida because he's never been a head coach before. But he's gonna get a job, and that is Buster Faulkner, offensive coordinator, Georgia Tech. He is so effing good. Keep an eye on that guy.
Look at you.
Yeah, he Buster Faulknered her, it, they, them.
Coitus. Buster Coitus.
Lane Kiffin versus Coitus today.
Yes.
This week at the Grove.
Yes.
Buster Faulkner, a $2 million coordinator at Georgia Tech. So much fun. Stop, Josh. No Jed Fish. Jed Fish is not that good. Although
Jed
Washington
Fish snuck into the OJ trial, though.
What?
You don't know about that?
No.
Oh, Jed always he's like, do I have to tell this story every time?
Oh, you ask him every time? Yeah.
Dude, well, I make him tell everybody because it's the greatest. So spring break, he went to Florida, Jed Fish. Obviously, we're talking about the job. And But so he's on spring break. And instead of going to like Panama City and Cancun.
This is like 1995.
Yeah, he decides that if he's as gripped as any, that he's going to go out to LA for the week and try to attend the OJ trial. Well, he realizes when he gets there, oh yeah, this is for real. Swear. He realizes when he gets there that not anybody can just go in. There's like a lottery. There's like a lottery system and the whole thing. So now he's out in LA and he had like nowhere to stay and he's got to figure out what to do. He goes to Goodwill. He buys a suit and a briefcase. The next day when the limos come up, he walks in with Marsha Clark and Robert Shapiro.
Act like you've been there before.
On the elevator. He's on the elevator with the dream team. And Marsha Clark's like, and who are you? Jed Fish, man.
I'm the head coach of the Washington Huskies.
He sat right. There are pictures of him right behind the bench.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's
for
so
the
good.
OJ trial.
Maybe he does deserve the Florida job.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the most Florida man thing I've ever heard.
That's Florida man. Yes. Florida man.
The only thing more Florida man would be if you'd snuck into the Supreme Court with a robe on.
Yes.
That'd be the only thing more Florida man.
He did it, man.
What about James Franklin? You call him?
Yeah.
If they don't win this,
James.
If they don't win this year,
and if you're James, you take it, don't you?
I think you restart.
You've been there a long time.
I don't think he wants. I don't think he wants to go week in, week out against the SEC.
You ever lived in Mount Nittany? You ever been out there? There's nothing there. You feel like you're in Mars.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's definitely.
I mean, that's SEC like.
Yeah, but Gainesville at least is somewhat near things.
Oh,
you're an hour and a half from like.
I don't want to offend all of our Florida listeners, but
Orlando.
I think Gainesville is one of the worst towns in the SEC.
No way. Orlando's an hour and a half away.
That's
Disney World.
These are the opposite of selling.
SeaWorld.
This is convincing me not to go there.
Harry Potter.
These are all reasons not to go.
I go all the time. I love it.
That's a you problem, not me.
You've never been to Epcot.
I have multiple times. I've taken my kids and
When's the last time you went?
I made my family pay for their tickets, and I'm never going back. Never, ever going back again.
You're
never
missing
going
out.
Nope.
You don't want to be on our boys' trip.
I'm an ESPN employee. I'm a Disney employee, and I ain't going back again ever.
You get free passes. I'll take them.
I ain't going. No chance.
No chance.
No chance. College Station, Gainesville, Starkville. That might be the three worst towns in the SEC.
You said Gainesville, Starkville, and what? College Station?
Yeah.
They're a little gas station bathroomy kind of feel.
If you want to have Thanksgiving at a gas station,
yes,
go to the Egg Bowl in Starkville.
Yes, there you go.
Where can people find you, Childers?
At Childers Radio on the X. What am I doing? Full Ride. I do that show. I do Mad Dog. I'm his QB2 mostly.
There you go.
Sometimes I'm QB3.
Are you ahead of Stillman or behind Stillman?
Ahead of him, but there's another guy. It's complicated. He used to be on the Score. What is his name?
Don't worry about it.
Danny something.
Don't worry about it.
But I'm around.
Yeah,
I'm there.
You can get to him.
Stillman did do one when I couldn't do it. So.
Yeah, he does a lot about it. Anyway, ML Rose, everybody, 7 great locations all across Middle Tennessee. Elite burgers, but the best wings in town, the best ranch dipping sauce, the best beer menu, and the best specials on Saturdays and Sundays to watch football, which of course we all love. So, Josh, always a pleasure. See Rich, all you guys in the comments, good to see you. Good to hear from you. If you're watching on YouTube, you can catch us when we're live there. If not, we put the entire episodes up there as well, so you can always watch on YouTube, 440 Sports as well. Notifications on, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Rate, review, subscribe, and if you don't give us 5 stars, you are a hater. For Chris, I am Braden. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. We will talk to you next week.